You can call me a Nazi. You better be careful. Because if I'm a Nazi, then there's millions of young people that are following a fucking Nazi. So you better be careful about those words. You're saying I'm a Nazi, I'm a monster. There's a million monsters then. There's a million Nazis out there then. Because they love my show and they agree with me way more than they agree with you, and they're pissed off.
We are investigating the resignation of a Winterville teacher after what the school calls a racially insensitive lesson and caught the attention of a lot of our viewers. Justin Lundy has been following this story and is live outside of Winterville Charter Academy with the latest. Justin.
Yes, I spoke with parents whose children tell them that a teacher here at Winterville Charter Academy used racial slurs inside an 8th grade classroom. And today, those parents are demanding immediate action and answers.
She had them raise their hand during a Constitution lesson and reminded them that if it wasn't for the Constitution, they would still be her slaves, her field slaves.
Kanisha Tillman and McKay Benjamin say their children were in an 8th grade classroom at Winterville Charter Academy. And late last month, that was the lesson on Constitution Day. Tillman says both the teacher and some white classmates then used the N-word.
And then call him a and then the teacher responded by saying when the black student tried to address it and asked her to address it, she said that, well, it's okay because we're all a little bit racist.
School leaders initially sent out a memo to parents of that classroom on September 24th. It said they investigated the incident and the teacher involved resigned. After outrage began to spread on social media that the teacher wasn't fired, Principal Anastasia Ryan sent out the following memo on October 5th to the whole school, reading in part, "As soon as we were made aware of each incident, we immediately took action. The result was a teacher resignation and the children involved being disciplined in accordance with our parent and student handbook. These situations concern us too. Our school culture is built on one of acceptance, love, and respect to serve all children and their families." Benjamin planned to remove her child from the school, but changed her mind this week. And why aren't you taking your kids out of the school?
Instead of us just removing our kids and letting them get away with it and not actually holding them accountable for what's going on, we should stay at the school and fight and get them to address the situation.
Winterville Charter Academy has not revealed the name of the teacher involved, but parents are demanding new policies to prevent situations like this from occurring again.
I would like for them to have training on cultural fluency, on implicit bias, on racism, and I would like the students to have training. Like, it doesn't make sense why we got a school-wide email about TikTok challenges in the soap dispensers, but we didn't get a school-wide email discouraging more racist remarks coming to the school.
A memo from the school stated that the teacher who resigned will actually receive culturally sensitive training. I'm not really sure how that's going to be worked out because I already reached out to school and they haven't said anything about that, but future and current teachers will also go through that training as well. In Pitt County, Justin Lundy, WITN News.
Yo, so we back in here for another edition of F-ya-Motha, and for all the people that come to my comment section talking about I'm race baiting and grifting, whatever the fuck that means. And it's not, that was the rhetorical. I actually know what it means. I'm not doing it. I'm actually just putting the light on the bullshit further, trying to expose it so that maybe, just maybe, you motherfuckers will stop carrying on this type of behavior. And if you like to do that about black criminality in America, feel free to do it. Like, people always leave in my comments shit like, well, what if I made videos about all the criminality that Jamar Quavius is doing? I wouldn't give a fuck. If it's happening, it's happening. However, while it is happening, a lot of motherfuckers like to think that it's happening at the frequency that they say it is. While crime in itself in general is a problem, they like to pathologize black criminality with black people, which I don't think one or two are synonymous, because most people that commit crime are within the underworld of like criminals. Most black people aren't. If we want to do that, we could pathologize white people with white mass shooters. We don't do that, which there was actually more grounds and cause to do that than it would be to actually try to pathologize black people with Jamarquavius shooting at his ops. But I digress. What I will say is this right here is racism and stupidity. While it's 2025 and the kids, I kind of understand, right? Kids gonna be kids. They do and say stupid ass shit. What I don't understand is what the fuck the parent is or a teacher is at school talking about if the Constitution didn't come into play, the black people would be her slaves. Like, what the fuck's that supposed to mean? You know what I'm saying, Miss Johnson? Last time I checked, bitch, you supposed to be teaching the curriculum, not tell me I would be a fucking slave as if you wish that the Constitution wasn't written. I don't know what the fuck be wrong with these people, bro. It was in the South, so then there's that. I'm not, you know what, let me stop that. I'm not going to delegate it to just a Southern thing. It's an idiot thing because as a grown-up, certain things should not be uttered. Telling kids that if it wasn't for the Constitution that they'd be slaves. What the fuck was your point as a teacher? Like, you still got to teach these kids the rest of the year. Saying stuff like that ostracizes them and makes them feel uncomfortable in your classroom. Once again, if it's a person that's within a certain age range, like 20 to 18, 19, 20, up until about 24, I kind of can understand. A motherfucker, I don't know exactly how old the teacher was, but I'm pretty banking on it that the bitch was 48. So the fact that a 48-year-old was saying reckless shit to some kids that were either going through puberty or at the edge of puberty, either way, is some shit that's out of line, and kind of makes me wish I was still in school, because man, these lawsuits going everywhere. There's gonna be some paid ass black people running around this motherfucking. Now luckily for them, this was a case where it was just clear cut racism. Nobody was killed, so they gonna get a couple hundred thousand, maybe a couple million. Better than somebody getting blaked and them getting the payout, right? So I'm glad that they gonna get paid, but it's almost like you send your kids to go to school and be taught. Not the lesson here was, if a motherfucker say some racist shit, sue they. And as Americans moving forward in 2025, I don't think that needs to be the lesson to be learned. I think you should be able to go to school and get the curriculum taught, learn that shit, and move up the grades, right? And get the fuck out of high school or middle school, whatever, right? But for some reason, and I've stated this in other videos plenty of times, that racism is not logical. People that are racist, they're illogical, they're immoral, they have low IQ. It's almost like back in the days when people was racist, right? In the 1950s, they wouldn't take your money if you was black. You know how stupid you got to be to not take the bread? Like, I get you not like the people. I so get that. Charge them more. Inflate the price. I don't know. I'm taking the money. Just because I don't like you, I like money. But they were so like low IQ back in the days that they wouldn't even take the bread because they didn't like the people that touched the money. Which is redundant because all money gets touched by all people at any given time. So whether they were touching the money directly there or they was touching the money in another city over, it's still going to make its way to you. They had with their fingerprints on it, possibly. So yeah, I just think that people that are racist are morons because they're illogical. They don't make sense. None of the shit they do makes sense. You just don't like a person because of their skin color and their culture or background, which is dumb because like this woman had to know that she was going to be teaching kids that were possibly of the black hue, and like it literally was something that could have been avoided. Even if you felt that way, that's another thing, right? I'm gonna get a woman a caveat. Even if you felt that way, certain things, once again, and I thought it was just delegated to the younger generation, but clearly social media has got these old people stupid because certain things, like she let the intrusive thoughts win. Some things should not roll out your head as a grown-up. Just gonna put that out there. As a grown ass adult, even if you felt that way, there are certain things that should probably never leave your memory bank. Or at the very least, like, say that shit to somebody when you get off work. Why would you say that to the kids that you have to teach? Like, stupidness. It's 2025. We too old and we too far along in the age of technology for you to be uttering dumbness and compromising your job. Clearly, her intended ulterior motive was to get fired. She didn't want to work. In any event, if y'all like this episode, like, comment, and subscribe, and for all the racist people that don't go past a minute and 40 seconds, if you happen to, tell me when I lied. In any event, I'm out.
No.